Welcome to this video. My name's Christine from Maths Heroes. This is actually based on a lesson I had last week with a new student from Year 8 who's about 12, 13 years old. And I always start by asking, can you do and what can I help you with? And he said, I know how to do addition and subtraction and multiplication. He said, but I have trouble with fractions and division and decimals. Okay. So we did some work on multiplication and so on. And then I asked him about this one with division. And it's the one that I start with when I'm trying to work out where my students are. So 42 and 3 are both friendly-ish numbers. They're not too big. I'm not dividing by a 7 or an 8 or anything like that. And he started counting 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18. So he was holding the count on his fingers, realised that that was going to be too hard, and started writing the numbers that you see down the bottom here, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and then he was just counting on. So he wasn't doing multiplication, he was actually doing additive thinking. We got to 39, and we have, as teachers, been so good at creating column thinkers that he saw the 4 and he said, I know that that's 40. I'm not going to go over that. He didn't even realise that with one more group of 3, he could get to 42. So he stopped at 39. He counted how many he had, and he actually wrote down here 13. He realised that this was a 4. He said, I've got 1 left over. Put the 1 there. Said, 12, how many 3s is 4? So you can see where I've written that he actually had rubbed it out. He had rubbed it out and he wasn't actually, he said, I know it's not right, but I don't know what I've done wrong. So this column thinking really wasn't helping him. And I said, you know what, mate? It's because we've done such a good job of teaching you to do sharing, which looks like this, and the students go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, which is what he wrote down, right? But then we expect them to be able to do this, and we teach them this algorithm, and we are effectively moving from to running. And my thing is there's a piece in the middle called walking that these students are missing out on, and they don't see it with dots on a screen or dots on a paper or anything like that. They actually need to physically make it with counters. And with my students, because they're a little bit older and they've moved on from counters, we use my multiplicative thinking blocks. So I said, can you draw a box? We'd been working on the boxes. So I said, okay, let's draw a box. So he drew a box and I said, we're sharing between 3. So he put the 3 on the outside. I said, what's a friendly number that you can give if we're sharing between 3? What's a friendly number that you can give? And he said 10. So I said, okay, so if we give 10, how much have you used? And he said 30. So that is the first one of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is what he did on the mini whiteboard. It is also 3 10s. Doesn't matter if I hold it that way, it's still the same amount. So here are my 10 3s. I said, what's left over? He said, well, there's 12 left over. So we put that in to model the 42. To model the 42, that's here. Right. And then we said, okay, so we're going to add some more. And how much more are we going to get? Well, we're going to get another 4 because 12 divided by 3 is 4. And so we put that piece on there, and I could model for him. Also that was 3 groups of 14. So you can see here, I've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I have 3 of those groups. Doesn't matter if I hold it like that or if I hold it like that. There was my 14 groups of 3. Very simply. So that is what I call walking. When our students start to crawl, very good at doing this sharing, they fall down trying to do running and they never get back up again. So they struggle with this whole algorithm. The in-between step is the array diagram that I've drawn here, and it is much more student friendly. They can pick numbers that are friendly to them, and it makes a lot more sense. So that's what we did. Then we actually had another conversation. So we said, well, if you know that 3 lots of 14, 42, in maths you also get 3 for free, which is what he has drawn here on the right. So he said, oh, I also get 14 multiplied by 3 equals 42. I also get 42 divided by 3 equals 14. And I get 42 divided by 14 equals 3. So all of that came from that picture. It's all in there. This was a much more student-friendly, focused way of introducing division to him with numbers outside the multiplication facts. But he also used his multiplication facts to work out the answer. I hope this made you consider perhaps adjusting how you introduce division, or if your students do struggle with division, this is a really lovely way to be able to get them started, because when they say, I don't know, or they start drawing circles, ask them to draw a box. They can draw a box and you can take it from there and work out what's friendly to them. And the students will drive it and they will understand the concept. Thanks for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Always remember, every student is a maths hero. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.